I think, okay, two things are coming to mind. When I teach, I really try to create this environment where students feel safe to ask questions. Um, I try, like, I always answer the question, even if I know I've said it before, even if someone else has asked the question 5 minutes before. I try. I think it's really important to let students ask the questions that they need to ask, um, instead of kind of punishing them for speaking up, right? I also I don't like to be like, please hold your questions for the end. I'll just stop and answer your question. Like, that's fine. I think letting people feel safe to like ask a question, to not know something, like instead of pretending like they do know everything, right? And then along those same lines of pretending you know everything, I think as an instructor, as a choreographer, like when I make a mistake, I admit it. Like, I made a mistake. You're right. Sorry, let's do it again. And not make a big deal out of it, but like these things of like allowing students to see that you're human too. And then the other thing I was thinking of is this book that I also have in this room. This book is My Grandmother's Hands. It's by Resma Menakem. And this book is actually about racialized trauma and healing the relationship between white bodies, Black bodies, and police bodies. So it's not specifically about dance, but in some of the later chapters, he talks about ideas of police culture that I think really lead into a conversation about leadership in general. So I'm thinking about like as an instructor, as a choreographer, as a leader in a space, and like these ideas of there's this one part that I underlined that's on page 278. It says, wherever you work, never forget that it is a home for other human beings, right? So he's talking about police officers and their, I don't know, their beat, like wherever they patrol, wherever they work, and thinking like, this is where you work as a police officer, but realize that this is where other people live. And I think those ideas can also be brought into the dance studio of like, this is where you work, you're the dance teacher, but it also needs to be a space for dancers to grow, for dancers to like experiment and like fail and ask questions. And so making that space is really important. Yeah. And so I think some of the tips that are offered for police bodies in this book, and also like just ideas about trauma and how it affects our relationships with ourselves and our relationships with other people. Even though this work is not about dance, I think it's applicable, especially when you're thinking about like, yeah, just like relationships with other people, whether or not you're the leader or not, and how to like effectively lead in a community in a way that values community and is trauma informed. I think this book is really good. These are my two books.
Definitely read those. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, of course.
Yes, you helped me so much, and you made me cry on the last question. Oh my gosh, my eyes are still watering.
Yeah.
I'm completely resonating with what you're
Good.
saying, and I am so appreciative of your time, teacher
Yeah,
Amy.
of course.
Gosh. Oh, I'm gonna just have to reflect on this and reread everything, and then of course I'll listen to this this video again, but oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah. I think it's hard, like when I think about dancing and teaching dance, like especially in the university where we are, you know, trying to produce graduates that have success in the world in the field that they choose, right? Which is dance. It's really hard to balance. It's like a constant negotiation between like teaching the skills that will like get you the job at the audition, but also like valuing like whole person development and like human beings that need to exist beyond their dancing. And I guess I assume like every instructor has like finds that balance and like negotiates that all the time. But the other thing is like, actually, so I was actually talking to my dad about this the other day, and one thing he said was like, yeah, but it's not a trade school, it's not a conservatory, it's a university, right? And so I think these ideas of comprehensive educational experiences are really important because there are other places to learn to dance, right? But the things that we offer hopefully carry over to other parts of your life and like do make you a full human beyond just like what you can accomplish physically on stage, you know?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know my teacher's going to ask me this. Can you give me an example of what a trade dance school is?
I don't think a trade dance, like maybe that's not the right term. I kind of use that term to think about trade school where like mechanics and
No, I understand.
right. But there are like conservatories where they don't offer the like gen ed courses that a university would offer. They concentrate more on like developing skills and these dance like
Is
um
Is New York City Ballet School like that, where you're just going there to be perform for New York City Ballet, and you just stay in that school for 4 years, and you just develop and develop to become a better and better performer, but you don't necessarily learn everything else that you were talking to me about?
I I haven't been to that school, and so I don't want to say yes or no. But the idea of like being in the studio all the time and like rehearsing and dancing rather than learning these other concepts that relate to the real world outside of your dance, like what you're thinking about is what I'm thinking about. Like we're thinking about the same thing, but I don't want to say yes or no to a specific school that I'm not informed about.
Okay, I understand. That's
Yeah.
perfect. That helps my learning too, because the way you answered the question is another whole learning experience.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, but I think you understand what I'm saying when I say like conservatory or trade school, like these things that really like teach you a skill, right?
Yeah.
But then what I'm interested in and like hopefully what we do at UNM is teach more than just like practical skills, right?
Yes, yes. So that's the balancing act. Yeah.
Yeah.
Balancing act is between these two things of getting a person prepared for they want to go on Broadway. They want to do this. And so, okay, we're going to do this, but also we're going to show you all of the ramifications of what that is. What that
Right.
entail. We're going to show
Yeah.
you the before, the middle, and the after. You have
Mhm.
to have all of this before you reach for this other thing that you think you want, maybe you
Mhm.
want later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, I understand that. Okay, teacher Amy, thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. Yeah, this was really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I got my work cut out for me.
Yes. And so I'll send you an email that has the link to this recording, that has the link to the webinar that I mentioned. I'll also like put these books that I mentioned so that they're easy for you to find.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll send you an email today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.